Okay, so welcome back, everybody. I kind of wanted to have another discussion. It kind of touches base on the last video that I did. Um, got my pen here and got my vape, so it's gonna be a bit of a discussion. So I hope you can stick around with me with this one. I'm gonna try to make it as swift as possible and as straight to the point as possible, and I'm going to try to stick to the main point. Um, so I wanted to talk about not necessarily who I am, but maybe like who we are. Like I know that sounds deep, but it's not as deep as it sounds. I promise. Um, who we are is in the sense of like myself, right? Um, so I myself identify as gender fluid. I some days I feel more masculine, some days I feel more feminine. So it really just depends on how the day is. Some days I don't feel like either one of those. I just dress like a pile of garbage. But it's just how it is. Um, and and then I kind of also wanted to touch base on the last video, because the last video I mentioned that I'm bisexual to normies, and I was watching this video by Verily Bitchy, who's right over here on the screen. Um, Basically, they excuse me, they had said something about along the lines of um, there's an umbrella term for bisexuality for people just using it as an umbrella term for just liking all the genders and stuff like that, like kind of like how pansexual is used and stuff like that, and basically I didn't want to come across as if I was trying to use something that maybe I didn't fit in or anything like that. I just wanted to kind of double down on what I said, and basically I just use it to kind of just not really have to explain myself too much to people, because bisexuality is a bit more in the normal compared to other things. So, but with me, right, I wear my makeup. Sometimes I wear my trucker hats. Sometimes I'm listen to my heavy rock music. Sometimes I listen to my feminine music. I really fluctuate between which day. Like some days I want to look cute, some days I want to look cool. It really just depends on how I'm feeling that day, and I want to know if it's like that for other people too, because I see it on my Facebook. I see people talk about feeling not so feminine or feeling not so masculine, and I hear about that stuff, and then I hear about like these alphas, like the alpha podcasts and stuff like that, how they talk about um, just like all those just really based ideas that they have about like women and like other guys that would be considered betas, like myself. Like I guarantee I'd be considered a fucking beta. Like I'm a fucking beta simp, compared to all of them. Like I've been in relationships where my partner was doing different types of work, and so that would make me a simp, or a cuck or whatever. I don't fucking care. That's I want my other person to live their life. I want them to be happy. I want them to know that it's okay for them to do what they want and everything like that, because I want that to be for me. That's what I want. I want to be able to go out in public with my full glam makeup on, and I do get compliments from people, like, oh, their makeup looks good, this looks good, whatever. But that's not what I'm looking for. I just want to go out and just not necessarily show the world, but just express to the world that this is how I want to feel. When I take that time to put on that eyeliner and everything like that, like it's not because it's me putting my time. It's because anybody that puts in the time to do some art like that and put makeup on their face and just let themselves be more feminine. And makeup doesn't have to be feminine anyways. There's a whole stigma about makeup being feminine, and I for a long time I would kind of question myself, like when I was married and with like my daughter's mom. I would kind of question myself, because I'd like things with flowers on them, or I'd like pinks, more pastels, and I'd sit there and I'd watch my wife do her makeup, when we were married, and I'd watch her do it like every single day, and she'd always tell me to stop, but I would always continue to watch anyways, because I always just was fascinated with it, because I thought it was just so cool and amazing. And the relationship after that, I thought the same thing, and I would do the same thing. I'd just sit there and watch. And, basically, I love being able to express myself however I want. And, we were taught growing up to express ourselves however we want, but as long as it wasn't gay. If you're a boy and you do something gay, like, that's a no. It's like, fuck that. Like, if I want to be gay, fuck it, dude, I'm gonna download Grindr and I'm gonna go get my rocks off. Like, fuck off. Like, I'm being safe. I'm not being an idiot. I'm checking in with people. I'm being a normal human being. Like, any other person would be doing what I'm doing. It's just the fact that I may be doing some of my things with people that identify as a male. Like, that's a problem. I don't understand it. And I don't understand what the problem is with men wearing makeup. Like, I accept he, him pronouns, but, like, I don't care. That doesn't really bother. Like, it's the way that I've been looking at stuff lately is, like, I don't really, like, obviously I've been raised to see gender, but, like, I've been kind of just reteaching myself to not see gender in really anything, like whether that's a word or, and I don't mean it in a derogatory way to where it's just like, oh, nope, they're, I'm not trying to do it in, like, an ignorant way, no. I'm strictly doing it because I just want, I want my life to be inclusive. I don't want to be the person that pushes people away anymore. Because when I was younger, I pushed people away all the time. I was just a disgusting person when I was younger, and I don't like it. And I want to be better. And I want to be a better person. And I hope that with these videos, I can kind of create a discussion, kind of not necessarily normalizing, but just bring, like, if there is even a discussion to be had here at all about anything that I'm saying, if you can relate to anything that I'm saying, if you have anything to input back to what I'm saying, then that's a win for me. Like, I can't be happier with that. And, I've been really wanting to have meaningful conversations a lot lately, and I guess all this just keeps coming back to talking about me and just who I am, and I'm sure it's so interesting to figure out who the fuck this guy is, right? But, it's just, because of this person, Verily Bitchy, they've made me very curious about different opinions and different takes and just what Verily Bitchy has got me very interested in having discussions about just different opinions and different takes, and I really am curious to hear what other people have to talk about, like, for instance, from things that I've had to say, like, me wearing makeup, for example. Like, is there an equivalent to somebody else out there that they have that would be like me wearing makeup? Like, let's say you're more of a masculine person, right? And you just so happen to like the smell of women's cologne. And so you kind of, like, secretly have, like, this fascination for how it smells, right? And you really like the way it smells, and it smells really good for you, and everything about it just clicks. And so you buy a bottle. You don't have a relationship with, a woman, but you still bought it because you like the smell of it, and you want to, like, spray stuff with it. So that way you have that smell because you like that smell. That's a feminine thing about you. And maybe one day, because you like that smell so much, you decide to go out in public with that smell. And you decide to express yourself through the sense of smell that you like smelling feminine. because this is how we've been, created. And so, like, is there a common between you and I about something like that? What do you do to make yourself feel more masc or more femme or more neither? What do you do to stay non-binary? That's a good question. I'd love to hear an answer for that. And I don't mean that to sound wrong at all. I mean that as a legitimate question. Like, what do you do to not create a masculine identity or a feminine identity at all, to kind of mash them together to create this androgynous powerhouse? Like, I would love to understand that. Because I don't know. I'm kind of getting off topic here, but I'm gonna cut this video short here, because I want this one to be more bit of an open discussion. So if I know I didn't really get too deep into anything. Like I said in the beginning, this definitely wasn't going to be as deep as I made it sound. This was more just kind of like to, like I said, open up discussion. So we got like a couple different points here. So we got like, what do you do to make yourself feel more masc or femme or neither? Another one would be, here we go. Do you feel like it's okay to use bisexual as a term for towards normies? Just to kind of like I do, just kind of push aside that question, that freaking question you get all the damn time. Yeah, the follow-up question after you tell them, oh, I'm pansexual, and they're like, oh, well, what the fuck is that? And then you have to fucking whip out a fucking dictionary and you have to tell them all that shit. Is there an equivalent for you there? This is really an open discussion to anybody. And if you don't like anything that I said, feel free to let me know. I'm not too worried about that. I mean, I'm putting stuff on the internet, so it's there. Verily Bitchy, I want to thank you for giving me the ability. Well, I guess I had the ability. You just inspired me to use my abilities to create. This isn't really that much content. It's more or less just me barely editing a video and, just speaking into a microphone and recording myself with a camera. But, Verily Bitchy has inspired me to really start talking about, the, not necessarily the LGBT community or anything like that, but just about us as a community, like we all know we're different. We all know we're different, but what makes you different than me? Like, what are the nuances that you have that make you different than me? And I don't want that to come across any other way than I just want to learn. That's all I want. I just want to learn about people. That's been my goal, is just to learn. So, if you can help me learn, I'd appreciate that. Thank you. Love you. Have a good one.